What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name's Brad and this is Be Modified. If you guys want to figure out how I got my headlights to look like this, then stick around because I got a video for you. So the first thing that we're going to do obviously is get the headlights out of the truck, and then I'll go over how to take them apart with you guys. Now that we've got the lights out of the truck, I was going to put them in the oven at 200 degrees for about 14 minutes. But these ones, right here you can tell that whoever resealed these things put some kind of clear silicone on them. I really don't want to take the chance of this silicone running all over inside the oven. So I'm going to just go ahead and try to take these apart with my heat gun. And hopefully it works out really well. So, I'm going to grab my heat gun and start heating these things up. Now before we start doing this, I just want to say that I've watched a lot of videos on doing this, and they do not recommend using the heat gun for it, because it is important that you get an equal amount of heat everywhere, just so that the plastic So we're just about done with this first one. It's just not wanting to release in some parts over here just yet, but here we go. Color matching the truck is cool, but I got better plans, I think. Okay, so now that we got that one apart, I'm gonna go ahead, get these other three taken apart, and we'll start getting these babies prepped for paint. Alright guys, so now that we've got everything all cleaned up, got our clear lenses set aside over there, so we'll go ahead and take our 220 grit sandpaper, sand everything down real good, clean it up real nice with some degreaser, and then we can start laying. So now that we got everything sanded and all the dust blown off of it, we're going to go ahead, wax and grease remove everything, and we can start priming and painting. So now we've got everything wax and grease removed, and we wiped it all down with the tack cloth. Now we're ready to start painting. And I did forget, guys, I went ahead and bought some primer and paint mix. So that's what we're going to be using today. Before we start painting, even though the garage door is open, still really important to wear your respirator. I'm going to throw this on and we'll start painting. Next day here, and as you can see, our paint is done. It's all cured. We let it sit overnight. Before you guys start hating on my paint job, I just want to say that I am not a professional. This is a rattle can paint job, and we did do it in a colder garage, so it's not 100% perfect, but I'm okay with that, because once we take those clear lenses over there and stick them back on here and get them back on the truck, we will not be able to make out some of the imperfections in the paint job. It's time to show you guys what other modification we're doing to these lights, because it doesn't stop with just the paint. So as you guys can see right here, we got these lights. I don't know why it's got this writing on it, because I did get these off of Amazon. They were prime. They came in like 3 days. They definitely weren't from China or whatever that is. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop one of these open. We do have two of them, as you can see. What these are LED light bars, and they light up white and they also are switchbacks. Once you turn your turn signal on, they'll switch over to amber. They're supposed to be like sequential, so we'll see if that is really the case once we get them installed. And the idea with these is, these bottom ones, we're gonna take and we're gonna start the wire in here so that we can probably just drill a little hole back here and feed it through, and then we'll seal that hole up with a grommet or some black caulking. So we're gonna run these like this, just like some of the aftermarket headlights you can buy, except this is just a way cheaper way to do it. So we're gonna run these up in here like this. So it'll basically just sit in there just like that. Then so on the top ones, this thing goes in this like that. So the plan is to run this along the inside of here, just like we did those. We'll start it here and run it up around. That's the plan for those. Now, these aux beam lights back here. Go ahead and pop these open. I'll show you guys what's up with these, which ones we went with. I'm sure you guys probably already know. You can see we got the aux beam pod lights. And what we're gonna do with these bad boys is put them right in here where the high beam is supposed to be. So, I'm gonna go ahead and try to mount these lights in. LED bars in, and as you guys just seen, I figured out that I'm gonna run this wire up through here like this on these top lights, and I will be sealing all this in with some gasket maker or something like that. But before I can actually do this step, I need to go ahead and try to get my LED pod lights mounted in there. So I'm gonna have to take this one back apart, and we'll see if we can get those mounted in. So we got our pod light. We know we want it to sit in there like that. We want to try to get it back as far as we can. But these brackets that come with it, I'm not sure if this is actually going to work or not. That tight. Now what we want to do is try to get this in here as far as we can, like I said. Hoping that this bolt will stick out the back of there. But I have a really good feeling that it's not going to be long enough. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down to the hardware store, buy some longer bolts. Like way longer bolts, and I also have a piece of flat metal that I'm going to cut down into strips to run across the backside here, drill a hole in it so that bolt can come through it. We'll put that nut on the backside of it, and then it'll hold that light in there. We'll go ahead, run down to the hardware store, get us some longer bolts, and then we'll get back at it. So before I go to the hardware store, I'm actually going to go ahead and put these bottom lights together because these are my blinkers. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take my heat gun, reheat all the black adhesive that's still inside the channel there on both of these lights, and then I'm going to apply some more of this 3M plastic bond, and then we'll go ahead and put our clear lenses on, let that set up so that we can reinstall these in the truck and head to the hardware store. Alright guys, so we got a slight change in plans here. The girlfriend made it home from work, so we're not going to take the truck. We're going to take her ride instead. And the reason for that is I don't want to have to hassle with wiring these wires up somewhere so they don't take it, so that way I don't take a chance of them falling down and hanging and smacking on something that I don't want them to. So we're going to jump in the Acadia, run to the hardware store, and get back as soon as we can. So we made it back from the hardware store, and as you can see right here, we got our longer bolts and we got our wire connectors, and right here you can see that we've already cut and drilled our metal brackets for the back side of the headlights. So now we just got to put everything together and start installing these parts. as you guys can see, we've got them all put together, except for the clear lenses. So now that I've got my pod lights adjusted where I want them to be, I'm going to go ahead and off camera put these lenses back on the headlights, because I just don't feel it's necessary to bore you guys with the same footage as what we did with the blinkers over there. Then once I get everything installed back in the truck, I'll pick back up with you guys from there, and then we can see what our final product really looks like. Well guys, it's getting a little cold outside, but we got it all finished up. Now it's time to check out what we did. Wrap things up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. Make sure to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. And just like that, we'll catch you guys in the next one.